Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandra and this is episode number 3 from our new podcast, Crochet Podcast, Stay Calm and Crochet. So I will see you in a minute. So how are you all? I'm so glad that you came back. This is our number 3 episode of the podcast. I just started this. We'll see how it goes. It's really fun to make these videos where I show you everything that's going on in my crochet life, my projects that I'm working on, things that I'm thinking of working, if I have new yarns, new hooks, new tools, things that I discover about crochet, all kind of stories. So today I have some new stuff that I got for myself and I wanted to show you. The first thing I got was my 12mm hook. Look at this. I don't know if you can see. It's a very shiny one. I got it from AliExpress, the Chinese website, and yeah, it has kind of bubbles inside. I don't know. But why I got it, because I have this very, very, very chunky yarn. Look at this. Very chunky yarn that I got from a yarn warehouse, and it doesn't, the label doesn't say at all what this yarn is made from. I think it's acrylic. It feels like 100% acrylic, but it's very, very chunky. So, and I also, it doesn't say how many yards or meters here, how many grams in this can, nothing. So I needed a scale to weigh my yarn, because I said, okay, if I don't have any information in the label, first thing I went and contacted this company. I tried to contact this company. I looked them up. It's something in Turkey. I suspect that this yarn is just kind of, I don't know, leftovers they have, and they exported it, and they don't write nothing, because it says here on the label, it says 100 grams, but it's not true, because I got myself a new scale. I'll show you the package, but you will not understand, because I got it here locally. It's all in Hebrew. So I got myself a scale so I can know, you know, how many grams of yarn I use in each project that I design, so I can be more accurate in my patterns to write exactly how many yards or how many grams of yarn I use. And so I weighed these. Let me put it here, put it on the table. I did weigh this yarn, and it's certainly not 100 grams. I will weigh it again, see what it says. It's 210 grams. Yeah, and I wrote it down here so I can remember. So it's 210 grams instead of 100, it says in the label. So I don't believe, it doesn't say anything in the label anyway. So I have to figure out what kind of yarn this is. Of course, the company, I tried to contact them, but they didn't answer anything. But I used it in one of my latest projects. This is my, I'm still trying to figure out how to call it. And if you join my free Facebook group, which there is a link in the description, you can join, it's free. It's a community. We have so much fun there. We have challenges and all kind of stories. And coupon codes for my Ravelry, and we are in the middle of a crochet along now, all kind of things. So if you want to join us, please do. You're more than welcome. There is a link in the description. And so I asked my community to help me to decide a name for this pattern. This is a scarf using the herringbone stitch, but there is a special story about this scarf and why I decided to do the herringbone stitch. And I told the story in the group, and I will tell it to you now, because I was in a trip in Spain and Italy, September, and when you walk on the streets of the old parts of the cities in Italy, you usually find that the streets are all made from, you know, little stones, like pebbles, maybe you call them, that they used to pave all the streets in the old ages. Just put one stone next to another, one stone next to another, to prevent the houses from falling down, to prevent floods, all kind of stories about it. But I saw in many places that they use this herringbone kind of design with the stones. So I said, okay, this is amazing. I have to work a design with the herringbone stitch, because it's the same, to honor this this trip and these streets of northern Italy. We were in northern Italy, especially Turin and Venice, and that part of the country, which is amazing, really beautiful. So I made this scarf. I used this yarn, and I didn't have my 12 millimeters. I only had a 9 or 10. Let me look in my, this is my crochet tracker, designers. Let me see if I wrote it down. Spider. I used, need to write, 10 millimeter hook size. This is why I need this tracker with me, because all my designs, I have to write down what I use, what hook and everything. So I used my 10 millimeter. That was the biggest hook I had, my 10 millimeter hook, and it came out beautiful, but very thick, because this yarn is so chunky, so very thick. Like, it's amazing for the winter if you live in a place like, I don't know, Iceland or Finland or northern Norway and Sweden, or maybe in the Rocky Mountains in Canada or whatever. It's very cold. Northern United States, and you know, all those places that are very cold, and you need, when you go out, you need something that really warms you up. So this is it. It came out very thick. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a very thick fabric, and because of the herringbone stitch, it's very dense. I love it, and it's amazing. And but here where I live, we don't have that kind of weather at all. Maybe a little bit in the north of the country. I live in the north, but not the very north of the country. And there are some places where it snows, but maybe it snows for, you know, a week, maybe 2 days, a week the most. So it's not so cold. And yeah, but I made this, and it's amazing, and probably I will use it if it gets a little bit cold here. So this is my first project that I wanted to share with you, and so I got myself the 12 millimeter, because I still have 2 more skeins of this yarn. I don't know what to do about the details of the yarn, because because when I write a pattern, so of course I want to give whoever buys the pattern all details, what kind of yarn is it, and you know, everything. So I can figure out the weight of the yarn, like if it's chunky or super chunky or whatever. I have this method. If you come to my free Facebook group, so I have a free tutorial there on how to know what's the weight of your yarn if you lost the label, or if you don't have the, how to figure out if you don't have the label and you don't have the details. So I will figure out the weight of the yarn. Probably I will not know if this is 100% acrylic or if it's some kind of blend. I feel it's 100% acrylic. I don't know. I love the color. It's a kind of blush pink. So I am going to use this 12mm. So whatever I design with this yarn, it will be kind of more loose and more not so dense. This fabric is amazing, but I want to do something like more loose. So this is my first project that I wanted to share with you and tell you about what I bought. So I bought this hook, and I bought myself the scale, so now I can, you know, measure everything, and it will be much better. And I also wanted to share my last projects that I finished recently. If you go in the channel, you will probably see, maybe I made a short video or something about this glove, these fingerless gloves. Can you see them? Here I use cascade yarn in this olive green, beautiful olive green color, and I use leftover of some, again, some blush pink. I think it was an alpaca yarn, alpaca blend yarn with wool, something. I have to figure out, but you know, whatever leftover you have. So this is one of my latest patterns. You can find all my patterns on Ravelry. The link is below. And yeah, this is great for, you know, an afternoon because it's really easy to make. And I think it's also great for Christmas gifts. If you're looking for a Christmas gift, you can make these in different colors and give the children, and, you know, give your neighbors or aunt or whatever. I think it's really nice. And very easy to make and very comfy, because I love the fingerless. So you can, you know, work with it, you can type, it doesn't bother you, and it's not very long. Of course you can make it longer, it's just a rectangle, but you can make it longer if you want to have something that will warm all your arm, that will be on all your arm. So this is one of my finished projects. And also this is not from now, but it's from I think last winter, but I brought it because I have 2 hats now made. I usually don't make hats, but this one I called it the square face hat, because, you know, look at it, it's square and it's funny because it gives you these 2 like funny ears when you wear it. So I will wear it. Let's see how it goes. You see 2 ears. It's funny, right? So yeah, this is nice also for you know, as a gift or whatever, if you need something to warm you up. And yeah, again, it's a pattern that is very easy to make because it's I think it's a half front loop, only half double crochet, so it makes these kind of lines and it gives kind of a texture, right, with the lines, and then you just sew it at the end and it makes these two little ears when you wear it. It's funny, I like it. And the other hat I made, beanie hat, how you call them, beanie hat, both, it's this one. This is more kind of advanced pattern, but again not very complicated, using the post puff stitch, front post puff stitch. I believe that's the name of this stitch. Very easy to make, but it's a little bit more advanced. And I use these two colors, and I call this the Nordic hat. It came out to me the name because of this gray, kind of gray and kind of latte color. So I thought, like, you know, if you've ever been in Scandinavia, any country like Sweden or Denmark or, you know, Iceland, Finland, Norway, so you know that this gray, kind of gray, bluish gray, it's a color that you see all the time there because, you know, the mountains and the snow and the trees and the skies and the rivers and lots of water and everything is like so clean and so, how do you say it in English? So kind of shiny, but in a gray way. Gray, it's not really gray, it's like bluish gray. So I love that color. You can see I have this vest here. Again, it's a combination of two very Nordic, for my opinion, very Nordic colors. So this hat, it's a round hat. You work it from the brim here, and you make the brim in rows, and then you join it, and then you work this in rounds, and then you just finish it with the decreases in single crochet. Single crochet decreases, these front post puff stitches, and brim, which I like it very much. And I think this is going to be one of my, I will give it probably to my daughter, one of my daughters, or somebody will take it when the winter finally arrives here. It's so hot. And yeah, I think this is it for today. These are my projects. I am, if you're watching this, I think my neighbors are working on something because there is a terrible noise now. I will see you in our next episode. Bye bye. Have a great, great week.